Hello, my name is Daniel Beaverstock. I'm 47 years old. I am a Vancouver resident living under the roof of a P.H.S. run building. I was the very first person outside of P.H.S. trained to use Narcan, and since then I've also become certified by Coastal Health as a certified instructor in Overdose Response. I've saved thousands of lives. I've been on PBS's Nova regarding addiction and the fentanyl crisis here and in other places with Darwin Fisher from P.H.S. And I've been on CBC, BBC. I've been on Philly Radio Show, New York News, Denver News. I've been seen all over the world, speaking to the media, to the world about P.H.S. and the good that they do. But I was blinded by that goodness, being somebody who needed the help that they were professing to give everybody. I was blinded by their white coats, by their whitewash and lies. I live in a building. My dog was born in this building. He's been here 3 years. He's never been a problem. He's an unfixed male, and he's been been in a couple fights with other dogs, other unfixed males in this building. One dog was a dog that wasn't supposed to be in the building because doesn't live in the building. And the other dog is a dog that's been problematic in other buildings. But aside from those isolated incidents, and I am sorry for those, I wasn't present for those, but I'm being evicted for it, and I'm going up for a hearing with the residential tenancy branch in April regarding this. But the irony behind all of this is I'm telling you this because P.H.S. is so fucking worried about my dog, hurting people. And everybody in this building loves my dog. But, they're not speaking to the fucking man that sexually assaulted a woman in this building and is charged with it and still remains living in the same building as his victim. He has allegedly victimized other people, one of which is dead. And Byron Stack, in all his great fucking wisdom and judgment, thought it was just desserts to tell my girlfriend that she should remain living in the unit she lives in next door to the very man that's gone at her violently on many occasions, threatening her because he's delusional and he thinks that she's whispering things about him. The guy is not that special. She doesn't give two shits about him, doesn't even want to know anything about him, but she fears for her safety, and she's gone to the staff, voicing her fears. And because of one past transgression that Byron Stack gave her a pass on, he thinks that it's just desserts and, a reasonable punishment for her to stay there. So if she gets killed by this fucking guy, I just want you to know that Byron Stack is he's responsible. And his boss, Duncan, he just sits there, because Duncan, this is his little baby here, 111 Princess. They go on about how they want to protect people, but, they're going to go on about my dog. But there's people that are victimized by other people in this building. There was a man that ran around this building. He was shaking his dick at people. He had gone at the staff in the bubble, or in the office downstairs, with a knife, trying to get in at them, and he didn't get kicked out. No, he didn't get kicked out until he punched somebody out in a wheel fucking chair, and my dog is their great fucking worry right now. Byron Stack, if anybody else gets hurt, you should be fucking worried. I'm not going to hurt you, but the world is going to know who you are and what you're about. And you too, Duncan. Because nobody's going to speak bullshit lies. You know, there's great things about P.H.S, and there are people in P.H.S that I love and I owe my life to. And I will always respect and love them. But P.H.S as a whole, because they harbor the fucking workers who act out in these ways, who think they are God, who think they can they think that they decide who lives and dies. You know, they've let this go to their heads so much. I don't get to go back to my job because I was trained to provide a safe place for people to be able to come in and use, so they don't have to go out in the alleys and die, so that their families don't have to fucking find out that they died in an alley. And so what was their solution? Well, they protected the guy that I was trying to get out fired, you know, because there were girls going and complaining about him sexually assaulting them, that he would provide them a safe place to come to their place, and then he would get them high, and then they would wake up and find that their clothes were put on wrong, or that they didn't feel right, you know. And so, you know, after being off on stress leave for a while, I thought I'd go back to work. My girlfriend had miscarried a child, and I didn't want her home alone. She'd been trained to do the job, so I said, come to work, be in community, try and do something good, don't be in your head. And one of their staff, P.H.S, not a peer, said, no, she can go home, I'm working. I said, you can't work, you just did a shift, and I'm supervising today. And she says, I can do what I want. You know, and that's what it is, P.H.S, you know, and peers. You know, they got rid of one of their own because one of their own was fighting to have us included in meetings, you know, because they wanted to make the world think that they're bringing in people like us and teaching us to do good and bringing us up out of the muck and mire to be good and righteous fucking people. We're not. We're just their fucking fall guys. You know? One of their own lights a fire under our ass and tells us to bring in the union. So what do? We vote to bring in the union. And what do? They do everything in their power to make sure that we don't get the hours to make any fucking calls. Who do we get for a union rep? Somebody from their own management put in. Not somebody voted in by the workers. That's illegal, isn't it? Yeah, but P.H.S is God. Well, fuck you, P.H.S. And fuck you, Byron Stack. If you were burning in the streets, I wouldn't piss on you. But I'd stand there and watch you fucking fade. You don't have to worry about me. I'm just gonna stand back and watch the world eat you up. Like you're doing. Think you're fucking God? You're nobody. And you fucking know it.